medium-sized businesses that don't fucking know their audience. Like, honestly, the amount of business I go into, who's your audience? Everyone. Fuck off, everyone. Everyone.
Yeah, it's fucking gross. Yeah.
Is everyone buying your products, Ali? No, they're not, you idiot. You know what I mean? It's just fucking stupid. That's just lazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, know your audience. The better you know your audience, right? Honestly, the one thing I find that's why most copywriters are consistently fucking shy is because they don't take the time to get to know the people they're writing for. It's not about you. It's not about whether you fucking like something. Even if you're selling a product, it's not about whether you like the product. That's not the point. Mm-hmm. It's about, do you understand them well enough that you're providing them with something or speaking in a way that they understand, or providing them with something that they actually want.
On this episode of Brews BizDev, I talk with Dan Kelsall of Offended.marketing. And while we enjoy some Stella Artois, we get into a little bit about how he went from being a fighter to a writer, why so much of the B2B content on LinkedIn and elsewhere is boring and crappy and ineffective, and some tips for where someone can start. If you're in a position you need to do your own content, you can't hire the pros, and you're a little overwhelmed, Dan gives his tips for how you can get up and running and effective in no time. Check it out. Thanks for being here. Hey, Dan, thank you so much for coming on, bud. How's it going?
It's going well, mate. Yeah, it's Friday, so I'm happy. I've had a pizza. I've had a pizza. I've got my Stella.
Yeah, you got the Stella. So, let's kick it off here. Number one, we're in very different time zones. So tell me, what time is it for you right now?
What time is it now? It's 8:30 at night.
Oh, okay, good. So it's not like 11:30 or some shit. Because I was wondering, like, oh man, am I really screwing this guy's schedule?
What about you?
It's 3:30. So it's a 5-hour difference. So I'm starting a little early and you're a little past the work day. That's cool. That's cool. Why don't you give your, let's crack into a Stella. And I guess first question will be, why Stella? You had the choice of what beer to feature. Why you pick Stella?
Honestly, I mean, it's going to make us sound like we're alcoholics, but we're British, aren't we? So we are. I've grown up on it. This is what everyone drinks. This is our premium. This is our premium beer. If you skin, you drink Carlsberg. It tastes like piss. Mm-hmm. If you got a little bit more money, you might go Carling or one of the mid-level. Yeah. In fact, it's piss, isn't it as well? And then this is our premium. This is what all the boys and girls drink.
You got piss, you got upgraded piss, and then you got this. So
you got yeah, well, they actually nicknamed this wife beater. That's what we call it. I don't have a wife, luckily, so there you go.
Right? Yeah. I'm sure I can figure that out if I think about it for just a couple seconds here. So, all right, cool. So Stella, let me see. It's been a couple years. That's how I remember it. Nice, crisp, straight ahead lager from, as we established shortly before we began here, Belgium.
Yeah, which I didn't know. You learn something every day.
Nice. You guys get a lot of the, we have, it's like craft beer craziness here in America, where it's just blown up in the last 5-10 years. And I know there's a couple things that are coming from, at least generally, over across the pond. I've had some BrewDog stuff, that's got pretty big and that's kind of everywhere. Is it as big kind of where you are is where it is here, or is that a little more of a fringe thing?
It's massive. Yeah. Well, everyone's just hipster gimps over here, aren't we? We're all just, everyone's vaping and drinking, craft beer. And I don't like BrewDog, to be fair, because BrewDog steal the work of marketers and pass it off as their own.
They really turned into be a shitty kind of organization. And I'm a punk rock kid at heart. So the thing where you try to use punk in your marketing and then turn into like the worst kind of assholes is really kind of slap in the face. I had that stupid book at home somewhere that dude wrote, and then I read articles and I thought, oh, this is not how they operate at all.
Really cool.
Yeah, stealing stuff, suing people, threatening to sue people, taverns and stuff to like put them down because it's had dog in their name. I mean, just that's awful. That's awful stuff.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, so that kind of craft brewer we can do without. I'm a bit of a fan. I get carried up, but I find a couple things I like, and then I stay in those lanes. And of course, IPA is the world over here. It's like everything IPA, different kinds of IPA. Some of them are a bit much, but we've got one called Hay Burner that's produced locally in Buffalo, New York, and that's it's nice. It's you can crush it. And it's at 7.2 or so ABV, so it's a beer and a half almost.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Good.
It'll catch up with you. You may or may not have come into the office late last night to finish some presentations up, and I may have had a few of those, and they catch up with you quick, and it's like, all right, cool. Tonight's the night to take the train.
Good.
So for the viewers, why don't you give your elevator pitch, right? Like give the 30 seconds. Here's what I am. Here's what I'm from. Here's what I'm doing.
Yeah. So we're at the minute we're a creative agency. We've got a few more things in the pipeline. But we're on a bit of I was gonna say a mission then, but that's a really wanky thing to say, isn't it? We're basically trying to change the world of content, especially B2B, and stop it being so dry, boring, and shit.
Yeah.
There you go.
Good luck with that. I appreciate the effort, and yeah, talk about an uphill climb, right? I was looking back through some of the posts because I remember it must have been a year and a half ago. I don't remember. I first saw you doing Winnett's first podcast. Right when whatever another dick with a podcast or whatever it's called, so I had come across that. Once I figured out who was who, then I ended up I got your book and stuff. I also still follow his stuff because I'm a big fan of just knocking down all that kind of bullshit hypey marketing stuff out there. I love what he's doing, and he could come over to this country and find so many more of those opportunities because I mean we live in that stuff like it's real over here, between the self-help stuff and then the marketing stuff. Like you blend that together and you're just conning idiots, vulnerable idiots, like day in, day out. So I love that. And then, I like your talk about content. And I think, that was pre-Offended, like Offended wasn't quite a thing.
Yeah, we just, I think we kind of just starting it. Yeah. We just, it was something else. We were trying to build a tool at the start. It was shite. And then we realized we were going to be pretty good at content. So it kind of grew from there. But I think that was right at the start. I've been content marketing and copywriting then for about quite a few years from then. So I think through kind of my last two businesses, I've kind of propped myself up. Well, I'd managed to eat based on the fact that I had some freelance copywriting gigs. So and that's where it came from. Just figuring out, being starting off like everyone else, being shit at content and figuring out what works. Yeah, it's not rocket science.
No, it's not.
That's the other thing.
Yeah, but you got to be willing, right? Which is kind of what your whole thing is about. You have to be willing to be something else than what the 99.999% of, LinkedIn, right? So like LinkedIn's the big platform. It's B2B, of course. That's going to be the big social platform. And the shit that gets retread there constantly. From speaking of the motivational and self-help stuff, right? Like the fluffy motivational quotes, the retread kind of you can do it and it's all about hard work kind of stuff, all the way down to 101 level content that only other struggling marketers pay attention to. That's kind of like the experience on LinkedIn. And I know you've been, you started at least, it was like kind of in the recruiting space, right? Like kind of ghostwriting and doing that kind of stuff for some recruiting folks, which also, right, plenty of those. There's one or two of those folks on LinkedIn just churning out garbage. And so what is it, what did you see as a gap? Like, so as you're out there and you're thinking, all right, I'm starting to put together a little bit of this and I'm starting to get paid for it. It's like, what is it that jumped out for you that said, you know what, I think I can do a whole fucking business doing this approach?
Honestly, mate, it was for the first time in my life, being fucking reasonably good at something. So every bit of writing I did, or it doesn't matter who it was for or what industry it was for, seemed to do well, blow up. And I think what it is people are scared of breaking rules, right? So I write the way I speak. Mm-hmm. When we communicate, right, the only purpose of speaking to someone or writing is to communicate, right? It's not to be policed and fucking everyone's saying that that's spelt wrong, well, that's not the correct grammar. It's not about that. It's about, do they understand what I'm saying and does it resonate with them? That's the basis of communication, right? Mm-hmm. I realize that if I write the way I speak, I break these rules. Not only do I piss the traditionalists off, right, which I like doing anyway, but it resonates because you feel like someone's actually fucking speaking to you, having a conversation with you, because we all break grammatical rules. That's kind of the point. Isn't that one of the best things about languages, that we break rules and make our own languages up and our own ways of communicating? That's one of the best things. So when you've got all these traditional copyrights going, you can't say that. That's not correct grammar. Fuck off. You're getting 2 likes on your post. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And I realised that I could do that regularly, and not only for recruitment, for any different industry. So we write for, I mean, there's that many industries we write for. It's crazy now. But what's consistent is the same simple tone of voice that, doesn't overcomplicate things, doesn't use fancy big words for the sake of it, and just speaks the way other people speak. It works in any industry, even the stiff ones. The only difference is everyone thinks it doesn't work in the stiff ones because they've never fucking tried it.
Yeah.
And that that's the basis of it, and that's where the business came from.
Right. And that's where especially in B2B, right? Like that's where the gap, because if anyone who's done any copywriting, or at least a fair amount of it, I mean, a lot of people have done a lot of everything at this point with the internet. Everyone's an expert and everyone's like, hey, hire me for this because I wrote once, So aside from that crowd, copywriters in B2C have known all that shit forever, right? Like you write like you speak. The point is to communicate and get something across, not to get an 100, in English class. It's and so here's what this is about. And then B2B comes in with that stiffness and that like the jargon, death by jargon, and we have to keep everything stock photos of people, assholes in suits, smiling fakely around a boardroom, and then writing stuff that no one would ever read. So do you find, having kind of put yourself out there now and having, gotten some attention, that there are more companies does it seem like there's more companies kind of willing to go out on that limb and catch up with 60 years ago B2C and like write authentically, or is it still kind of a rarity?
It's still a rarity, honestly. We even like the clients we take on, we get a lot of leads through, and most of them we fuck off because the minute I speak to them, I think, you're not ready for this.
Yeah.
You're talking shit. It's to you, it's like, they'll come in and I'll think, to you, this sounds good.
Yeah.
But I know full well I'll write that first piece and you go, oh, we can't put that out. I think there's tons of them, but that's good for us. We don't need to market for everybody. We don't want to be that. There is enough money out there and enough clients out there that we can be the rogue fucking niche agency in the corner.
Yeah.
That, probably making more money than other agencies, because honestly, we holding on to that niche is important. I don't want everybody to have this tone of voice because it'll be fucking well hard to market. What's next then? Where do we go then?
Right. Yeah. No, you're crowded out.
So yeah, we don't want everyone talking like this, and they won't because nobody has the same set of bollocks as we do, and that's why the market agencies can't do what we're doing either.
Yeah,
we see them time and time again trying it. There's loads of them. Like there's a famous Noel Gallagher quote that's sort of about Oasis when I think he's talking about Blur, and he's like, he says, he's not bothered about what other people are doing because he's like, we're over here doing our thing, and they're over there doing our thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So, and it's the same with us. Like, people are trying to copy us, but they're doing it badly.
Yeah.
And they're not going to be able to. And I don't want them to either. And it's the same with clients. I don't want to take on every client. We're very selective with who we take on, and we also fire people very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
If they're not right.
Yeah. And what is that? So what does that usually show up like? Right? Is that because like they'll come in, they'll want something, then you write something, and they start fucking hemming and hawing and like, oh, we don't know, and then it's like, all right, well, get out.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's all. I think one of the biggest things is where we go into a place that's got a big marketing team. Because everyone wants to have a fucking opinion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And marketers that are coming in and chiming in on the posts that we do, we've got a track record. I can show you fucking tons of results that we've got for the same sort of writing and why it works. And I've got some writer there who's never ever done consistently good content telling me that this should be changed. What the fuck do you know?
Right.
You got us in for a reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if it carries on, I'll Dino, my business partner, is a lot better at coping with it. That's why he deals with clients, because he doesn't get as pissed off and he's a lot more patient. right?
But he doesn't know a lot about business financial terms.
No, it's terrible. That it's terrible business, mate. He just he's just dropped it on the balance sheet, and even though he doesn't know what a fucking balance sheet is, he just goes, "Well, we must be doing well then."
Yeah. I have someone look at that, so it's fine.
In theory, he's right as well, because so long as the whole purpose of the business is just fucking make money, right? And he does that. And he's brilliant. He's fucking brilliant with clients and closing and stuff.
Nice
business terms, mate. Commercial director. Dean Tranton.
Good. Well, I'm glad we could get that skewer. I just saw yesterday. I saw the video with him fucking all the questions up, and I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna have to work this in somewhere.
There's a new one next week. There's a new one next week that we're doing. I'm asking him questions about onboarding staff and some of the rules around HR in the UK. He's going to do badly on that as well.
Yeah. Good, thanks. You're going to spring the questions on him, right? So we can't prepare. So I
mean, he doesn't get to prepare.
After that performance, you would want to, I would think. Like I got to cheat my way through this before I look like a total asshole. Nice. So one thing I noticed when after I'd seen that one podcast, Winnen's podcast, and then I went, I went on a search, right? Because that's what people do on the fucking internet. And so that I was looking you up, and I didn't come across anything marketing wise on YouTube. I came across what looked like a whole bunch of videos of you fighting people in a ring. So
a bunch of videos of me getting beaten up.
I wasn't going to put it that way, but yeah, that's it seemed to be at the ending on those. So I assume is it the losing that had you work your way out of that scene and think maybe I should try something else, or was that like you're just kind of doing a passion play and just like giving it a go?
Yeah, I mean that was the problem. I kind of put a lot into the fighting world and made my way up in different shows into a few different title fights and things. And when I found out that I was distinctly average, maybe slightly below at fighting, I thought, well, I've got to find something else I'm good at. So writing was it, right?
Yeah, nice.
So yeah, I still enjoy training. It's still, still just go and see all the lads. Still get, some of the kids coming up nowadays are just ridiculous. So, I'm getting beat. I'm 33. I'm getting beaten up in the gym by 17-year-old kids. So, that's quite humbling.
Yeah, and I think that trend probably continues, right? Like you're probably not going to get better as you age, and they stay the same.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, I am distinctly worse than I was, which isn't a good thing. But I love the sport. You know what? I love the sport, and it's great stress relief. And it's a good bunch of people.
Mm-hmm. So. Nice. Yeah. Well, it certainly is an interesting, like, oh, here's a trajectory I haven't seen before. As I look through here. I mean, obviously, this is how everyone comes into marketing, right? Is you try it as a fighter. When that doesn't work, try it as a writer and see if that sticks, and then it works. Like
but it rhymes, doesn't it? I thought fight. Yeah. What else can I do? Google it.
Exactly.
Right, that'll do. I'll try.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and you love rhymes, right? I mean, you write a lot of rhyming stuff for what you guys put out. So, was that the process? Was that what should it be? Oh, writer rhymes with fighter. I'll try that next. Yeah, or had you done writing in school or something? I mean, where'd the writing come from? Why'd you even try?
I've always done writing. My mum did a lot of poetry. She's brilliant. She's gone now, bless her, but she's a brilliant poet, and I kind of grew up on poetry, reading her poetry and trying to do it myself. And then I've written 3 novels, all have been rejected multiple times because they were shit, basically. At the minute I'm trying to write a bit of a screenplay. I just like writing. I'm not saying I'm necessarily very good at it.
Right.
But I enjoy it. And for some reason I make money off it. So.
Yeah, and you found some version of it, right? That that you can make some cash off, so then you can fuck around with all the rest of them and just have fun. Exactly. Do you mind if I ask what's the screenplay about? What's the
it's about a drugs gang that operates out of the gay village in Manchester.
Okay. Wow.
And yeah, it's just that's pretty much it. It's just that a lot of basically the premise is that 80% of the drugs in the north come through the gay village in Manchester. It's run by this gang, some of which are drag queens, some of which are bouncers there, some of which is just this network of people. It's just a bit like a Mank Peaky Blinders with a bit of a gay twist on it, I guess.
Nice.
I
Okay.
Nice. Yeah. We'll see. See if it's even any good. Might not be.
The romantic feel-good story of the year. I feel it coming on. Yeah, that's nice. I don't know. At the rate at which Netflix is buying shit that should not get to see the light of day, I'm pretty sure you got a shot. I think you got a shot with that.
Yeah, maybe, imagine. Maybe the Netflix series. Who's wrote that gay program, the gay drugs program?
Exactly.
No, they're off LinkedIn.
Ranking 5th this week. Yes. I look forward to that. I look forward to seeing that. So back to something vaguely professional here. What would you say, because I get this kind of shit coming at me quite a bit, and the advice never matters anyway, but we like to keep giving it because we're in marketing and that's how we get people to come our way, right? But for folks, since the pandemic has hit and y'all just got like re-locked down in second wave, and we haven't gotten out of our fucking first wave yet, so we'll see how all this plays out. But I know that I was going out and started to do presentations, and I've been used to Zoom for like 15 years, right? I mean, and so none of that was new, so it's easy for me to jump into it. And I knew, and then I got the little yellow book of yours because I saw that come out. I'm like, cool. I was like, I bet this is aligned with what I'm thinking right now. And then took some of the points. And that was my message as well. Like, don't fucking stop, right? Like, this is not the time to stop. It's the time to get on, because there's only one place you can get on at this point. Like, get there and start doing something. And I got a lot of stuff coming back. And some people have asked me even on this podcast, like, how do you get started shit, right? Because there's all these barriers. People don't think they know anything. They don't think they can write. They don't think, like all this kind of like, but here's why not, and here's why not. And like, it seems so daunting. Like, how do I get started? And I've gotten a few different answers from different people. And I'm curious as to, if you're sitting down and someone's like, all right, listen, I don't have money to pay you guys, right? Like, I don't have money to like bring in help. We're fucking strapped. We're dealing with the situation and just trying to survive. I want to get into this. So let's assume they're going to take the advice. Like, what's the advice you give for like, listen, here's where to start, here's your first 3 things, and then just go? What's your advice?
Is this for marketing their own products, or for actually getting into marketing their own products?
Yeah.
Step number 1 is your audience, right? The biggest problem that I come across for most clients is like even like medium-sized businesses that don't fucking know their audience. Like, honestly, the amount of business I go into, who's your audience? Everyone. Fuck off, everyone. Everyone.
It's fucking gross.
Yeah. Is everyone buying your products, Ali? No, they're not, you idiot. You know what I mean? It's just fucking stupid. That's just lazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, know your audience. The better you know your audience, right? Honestly, the one thing I find that's why most copywriters are consistently fucking shy is because they don't take the time to get to know the people they're writing for. It's not about you. It's not about whether you fucking like something. Even if you're selling a product, it's not about whether you like the product. That's not the point. Mm-hmm. It's about, do you understand them well enough that you're providing them with something, or speaking in a way that they understand, or providing them with something that they actually want. Yeah. It's always about the audience. And the more you know about that audience, the better your marketing is going to be. Mm-hmm. And that's step 1. That should be everyone's step 1. If you don't know your audience properly, or you sat there going, I can sell it to anybody, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Yes. How's that going so far?
Yeah. When I look at sales data and find out, because there will be patterns in there. There will be people that consistently buy your products. That's probably your target audience.
Yeah.
That's step 1. Step 2 is stop with the strategies. Like, strategy is important, but nowadays, if you're going to sit there now, and honestly, the amount of people that pay marketing agencies to do a fucking strategy for them for 3 months, the strategy's already out of date by the time you finished it. So the world, the digital world, the market world, everything moves too fast nowadays to sit there writing a 3-month strategy. Mm-hmm. If he ever offers you that, or offers you're going to pay for that, fuck them off. That's nonsense. Yeah. Get going with stuff. So, brainstorm as many ideas as possible. That's the second thing. Mm-hmm. Get those ideas out there as quickly as possible, because you're going to learn more about what your audience wants to see. Because again, with your content, it's not about whether you like it. The amount of people who write content and go, well, I don't know why that didn't do well. I thought it was really good. Who gives a fuck what you thought? Yeah. It's about, if it's good, they're going to react well to it. If it's not, they're not. Right? Mm-hmm. And that test is as simple as it needs to be. Get your content out there, different ideas, find something that resonates, and double down on that for a bit. Once it stops resonating, then find something else. Yeah. But what you do is, gradually as you learn more, step 3 is you then start to build a living, breathing strategy around it, because you gradually start to know more and more and more about your audience. Mm-hmm. You know, easy it is to sell to them because you can speak like them, you can resonate with them. It's like, have you read Shoot Dog by Phil Knight?
Yeah.
Right. So he starts off and he's got a team of overweight, middle-aged accountants, right? And everyone goes, oh, you got to speak authentically, you got to do this. No, they knew their target audience that well, right? They're selling to athletes, right? If they were being authentic and making it all about themselves, Nike would now be the sports brand for, fat dads of 5, in the 40s and 50s, right?
Yeah.
They didn't do that. They figured out who their audience were, and they spoke in a way that resonated with their audience, and they grew a brand on the back of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same as any other brand. It's never about you.
Yeah.
Which quite winds me up when people say you got to be authentic. No, because authenticity is about you.
Yeah.
Relatability is about them. You got to be relatable.
Mm-hmm. Nice. I like that. And let me, I'm going to hit that in a slightly different angle, right? Because the emphasis on authenticity from a marketing perspective then becomes defeating at a certain point. And I'm big into like, don't bullshit on who you are, right? Because you're gonna, if you got a company and you got then the people coming out and doing content, they're going to have slightly different tones of voice than the core kind of brand. But again, the ultimate point is that you're saying shit that matters and in a way that's relatable for the people you're talking to. So there's that mix. And I think that your agency is actually like an example of this. Like you can do that for clients, but you're doing a very specific certain kind of a thing that goes pretty well to your authentic personal style, right? And then being willing to be like, fuck it, because we don't need all the clients in the world. So depending on your market, right, depending on how many people you need to engage to actually like get what you want out of the business, maybe you go a little more authentic or whatever the hell that is one way or the other. But if you're if you're churning, right, if you're in some business, whether it's SaaS or fucking widgets, on the other side where you got to keep selling and you've got like that wider thing, like you got to speak, that's got to lean more in the direction of the listener, right? That's got to be a little more that's got to be less you, more them. But if you only need 4 total clients every 3 years to get everything you need out of life, then you could probably be a little more like, hey, fuck what everybody thinks. So I think there's a balance there because I'm someone who we're not some offensive agency inherently or something like that, but I'm the biz dev person. Actually, I was talking with some of the teammates today. I said it's pretty interesting in an agency, a creative agency, that's the person who's presenting the weirdest is the biz dev person, right? And not like one of the internal, like one of the designers or something. And obviously I do writing, I create content, but I'm like, I'm sales and like, oh, look, I got nails. I'm wearing fucking t-shirts and stuff. And we're in Buffalo, New York, which is not the most cutting edge forward thinking markets. So there's a risk, right? There's a risk that I'm taking that I'm going to cost us a certain amount of business from certain types of folks who would see me and think, oh, fuck, like they hear me swearing and they see how I'm presenting and they're like, oh, fuck. But I know that in advance and they knew that before they brought me on. So like, you got to know that balance.
It's a balance. Yeah. But and as well, like, because the things that the projection, everyone says like Offended is a projection of me, right? And actually it's a projection of certain elements of my personality that we've found that resonate, that bring in business. So it's not my entire personality. It's we've doubled down on the bits that work, right? And it just the swearing and the knobhead side of me, it's just the brings in the money, right? I don't know why. But yeah, you're completely right. It is that balance. It's just that I guess my point was just people stop focusing so much on this. I need to be authentic. And just saying any old shit.
Yeah,
figuring out that it's elements of my personality that these guys can relate to and that resonate with them that we have to double down on and use. It's not just you. This is me. Take it or leave it.
Right. Exactly. With no value, no relevancy. Here are my top 5 favorite books this week, and like whatever kind of like lame. Yeah. Exactly. Well, that's bad news for like the entire internet. And certainly LinkedIn. I spend a lot of time on the platform, but yeah, it's boring as hell. And it's interesting to me because there are so many voices, and maybe this has always been this way. Maybe it was like similar in other platforms, like with other media in the 60s, where like some people are always screaming like, do your own thing, right? Get creative, go outside the box, and everyone else is like checking boxes. I assume there's something like that always. But, a lot of prominent I think marketers like out here, I'm like jumping in my head is like Dave Gerhardt, who used to be at Drift, and is a privy. He's got a big presence, and he's always saying the same, like B2B doesn't have to be fucking boring. He doesn't say fuck as much as we might, but he's like over and over and over again. And then you see the guy blowing up, you see him create his own service, you see him like all this kind of stuff, and then everyone's still just like, no, like
I like what he's doing, but he's wrong.
Yeah. Like, that's good for you, maybe. But, like it's the old, like my business is different, right? Which, of course, we all hear in pitches all the time. Well, inbound strategy. Well, that might work long term for some, but our business is very unique. And it's just like, what? You're in, whatever it is, like you're a fucking plumber. Like your business is not that unique. Like there's a strategy and a general approach and good content that actually would work for your business the same way it does for any other fucking business who's willing to say, all right, yeah, let's try that. Because the only reason we'd be talking is because your shit's not working as good as you want it to, right? The only way they're talking to you, the only way they're talking to me is because like they're not getting what they need. But that ability to still come in and be like, oh man, that sounds so cool. I can't wait to keep watching you do that from afar while I just keep like, doing nothing.
It's mad, but we do that with clients as well. Honestly, there's been a few times where I've got to the point where I've had to bollock clients because I get mad about it because I say you're not listening to me, right? You brought me in, you're not fucking listening to me, you're not listening to the team, and I don't care about making you look shit, right? You're making me look shit.
Yeah.
Because we're tied to you. We're your fucking ad agency, or we're your marketing agency. We're doing all your creative, right? If you're fucking messing about with it and making it look poo, you're making me look poo.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the bollocking they get, and they're always like, "Oh, I didn't realise that." Obviously,
right? Yes.
I don't want to put out that fucking shit campaign that you put out and have my name tied to it.
Yeah, you could have done that on your own without me.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So,
all right. Let me see here. What do we got? 9:30. All right, I'm going to cut you loose here in a minute so you can get on with the rest of your night. But is there anything you want to throw out at the end? Anything that you want to, have people check out? How do they find you? And anything special you want them to look at?
Yeah, I mean, you can find us on LinkedIn. We've got a few other things that are coming out. There's some really big. We're from probably about December. We will no longer just be a creative agency. We've got a few different, couple of different business things that are coming out that we're going to go into. One of which is going to be an Offended training school.
Oh, okay.
An online course, which
nice.
is more like a animated series, right? And you can imagine what that's going to be like coming from us.
Yeah.
If you're offended easily, don't get a subscription.
Don't end the course price in a 7, by the way. Don't make me or Mike win it come after you. Like, if I see you on Entrepreneur Bingo, it's gonna be a fucking issue.
I might just do it just to piss everyone off. £7.77 it is.
But if you buy right now, we'll mark it down and we'll value stack it. Yeah, cool.
£100. No,
yeah.
£100.
Exactly.
But we're doing that. We're doing a merch range. It's going to be arguably the most offensive marketing campaign of all time for a clothing brand. I might get in trouble. Might even get in legal trouble. Might even get in criminal trouble. I don't know. It's risky.
Yeah. Wow.
All about the risk, mate.
Yes.
We're going to be doing different things. Just look out for what we're doing. The new website's going to be launching soon. I'm still surprised we get leads and business through. We've just got a holding page that says, fuck. Wait a minute. That's what it says, right? And we still get business through it, which is mad. The new site will be launching. It's fucking mega. It's got all characters from Manchester, all Mancunian characters drawn in different weird scenarios. We've got Alan Turing. Pretty much saved the world at World War II, Manchester. We've got him outside Greg's eating a sausage roll. And stuff like that, weird ones. We've got John Cooper back in the bath. We've just some weird stuff on the website, but the website's gonna be launching, and then we're gonna be launching the 2 things that we call rags, which are our merch range, and the school, the Offended school.
Nice.
So yeah, look out for it. January coming soon.
Yeah, cool. We'll keep an eye out, and I appreciate you taking the time in the midst of lockdown at night, in the lockdown, to come out on the show. So yeah, I'll keep an eye out for what you're doing, and always, I'm always game to share and help spread the good word, and I love what y'all are doing over there. So keep up the good shit, bud.
Yeah,
Pick on the beer.
Right. Cheers for chatting to me, mate. I'm in a flat on my own anyway, so
Nice.
you can talk to and have a beer with tonight, so it's all
You
good.
got fuck else to do, right? So cool. All right, man. Have a good one. Talk soon. Thanks, Dan.